Sheriff Ray Nash here. Today we're going to explore this word that we call integrity. Integrity is an interesting word. We use it all the time. We like to think of ourselves as being men and women of integrity. But what I have discovered is that very few people really know how to define this term. It's a multifaceted concept, and it's a little bit difficult to get our brains wrapped around it. But I want to give you a simplified definition, what I call the police dynamics simplified definition of this word integrity. Integrity means simply this. Integrity is being who you represent yourself to be. It's really as simple as that. In other words, if you represent yourself to be one type of person, then I ought to be able to look into your life and see evidence that you are, in fact, that type of person. Now, if I was to look into your life and see evidence that you're some other type of person, well, we have a word to describe you too. We call you a hypocrite. So, by this definition, integrity is the exact opposite of hypocrisy. Now, the word integrity has an interesting history. It comes from a Latin word, integritas. Integritas means wholeness. It means completeness. It means there is nothing lacking. We get the English word integer from that word. An integer is a whole number. It's complete in and of itself. It's not fractionalized. We also get the word integrated. If something is integrated, we say that all the pieces fit together in such a way that there is strength under pressure. In fact, we use the English word integrity to describe things other than people. For instance, we could say that a building has structural integrity if all the pieces fit together in such a way that there is strength under pressure. And this building can withstand the forces that are brought to bear on it, whether it be the wind, the rain, the snow, the storm, the hurricane, the tornado, or the earthquake. Back home where I live with my family in South Carolina, we have our fair share of all three. We have tornadoes from time to time, and of course hurricanes come across the South Carolina coast quite frequently. We were almost ground zero for Hurricane Hugo back in 1989. Tremendous destructive forces tied up in these things that we called hurricanes. And we actually have the nation's most active seismic fault runs right through my county back home. We don't get that many of the big ones, but we have small ones all the time. And consequently, our buildings have to be built to a certain standard so that they can withstand the forces that are brought to bear on them. This is one of the issues going on in Haiti after this terribly devastating earthquake there. And one of the reasons the casualty count was so high was because of the lack of construction standards. These buildings were not designed to withstand these types of forces as great as they were, and many of them, of course, collapsed, and lots of folks were killed as a result. It's a terrible thing. But it's all about having strength under pressure. We could use the word integrity to describe a bridge. We could say a bridge has structural integrity if all the pieces fit together in such a way that it can withstand the pressure of the cars and the trucks going across. But if there's a flaw, if there is a weakness in that bridge and it cannot withstand the weight of the cars and the trucks going across, it might collapse under the pressure. We could even say that the bridge has become disintegrated, and there's the same use of that root word. Back during the days of the Roman legion, the legionnaires, the Roman soldiers, would line up for inspection, much like we do in the military today. And the Roman tradition was that the centurion, the army commander, he would make his way down the ranks inspecting the soldiers. And as he would come to each man, the tradition was they would snap to attention. Now keep this in mind, they had their full battle gear in place. They had their belt with their sword, their shield, their breastplate, their helmet, everything was in place. And as the centurion would approach, the legionnaire would take his right fist and he would bang his breastplate. And as he did, he would shout the word, Integritas. And it meant, I am whole, I am complete, I am prepared for battle. And I am not only physically prepared, but I am mentally prepared, emotionally prepared, and spiritually prepared as well. I am of one mind and I am of one purpose, and that is to accomplish the mission that has been set before me. That is the essence of integrity.